Welcome back to the Chapter 5 review, which is probably the stuff most of you are going to be the most spaced out on. I'd probably make sure that on your cheat sheet you're writing down the names. So monomial, trinomial, or binomial and trinomial, and then polynomial of 4 or more terms. I would also make sure you're writing down by the degree. So it was constant, linear for 1, linear for 2, quadratic, cubic, quartic, and then quintic for 5. Okay? So I started working through some of these to save a little bit of time. Here you're going to distribute the 6 and distribute the -4. And then I just combine like terms, and I have 2a minus 6b minus 6a, which I can actually combine as well to get -4a minus 6b. Now here's the thing. It's hard to say the leading coefficient is which one of these, because which goes first. I'm just going to say -4. It'll be more obvious. It'll be problems like this, okay? The name of this, you know, it's linear because there's no exponents, and then there's 2 terms, so binomial. Just trying to make sure we get across that you need to distribute some things in here. Probably be an x in there, make it a little easier. For this problem, I wrote it out first. X minus 3 squared is 2 of them, and then wrote the rest down. I FOILed these two because the opposites cancel out real nice to give me x squared minus 9. Then I distributed the x squared into both of those to get here. And then I FOIL this. So x times that gives me x to the 5th. This times that gives me minus 3x to the 4th. This times that gives me minus 9x to the 3rd. And this times that gives me minus 27x. Excuse me, plus, because a negative times a negative, plus 27x squared. And that's the standard form for that. Now this is to the 5th degree, but the leading coefficient is just the number in front, which is a 1, why it was -4 there. And this is a 5th degree, which we said is quintic. And there's 4 terms, so poly of 4 terms is what you would write. Here we're just going to FOIL this, so I get x squared minus 4x plus 5x minus 20 by doing these two. Combine my like terms to get x squared plus x minus 20. Leading coefficient, again, when there's nothing there, means 1. Second degree is a quadratic. By the way, that word is right here when you see an x squared. Sorry, right here and you see an x squared. Quadratic trinomial. Okay. Down to the next part, which is graphing polynomials, graphing specifically quadratics. And these two problems you're going to use, well, these are in this form, ax squared plus bx plus c. And we know that the axis of symmetry is the opposite of b over 2a, and that the vertex is that, and then plug in. We also know the y-intercept is always 0 comma something. Okay, so I can plug that in right away. And I'm going to start doing these. This is x equals, well, the opposite of b, which is 6, over 2 times 1, which is 2, gives me 3. And so that is always, always in both forms, in any form that. And we plug 3 in, so I get 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 5, which is -4. Plug it right into a calculator. Go graph that point, 3, -4 on my graph. Goes right there. 0, 5, when I plug in 0 I get 5, so 0, 5 is right here. And then if I use my axis of symmetry here, I can just reflect that 3 over and then 3 over again to get that point, which is 6, 5. Okay. Do the same thing with 2, plug 2 in, so I get 2 squared minus 6 times 2 plus 5. 4 minus 12 is -8 plus 5 is -3. So I'm going to get 2, -3 right here. And I'm going to reflect that here to get 4, -3, and I'm going to connect my dots. Done with that one. Okay. It is, if I remember, we did this trick where I could cover it up like this and say, what is that side doing? Is that going up or down? That side's going up, so that side is increasing, which makes this side decreasing. So I can write from this number, which is 3, it's always the same as these numbers up here. I can write it is increasing from 3 to infinity. It is decreasing from -infinity to 3. And of course this opens up because it makes a U, which is up. Okay? All right, next problem. Opposite of b over 2a gives me x equals -3. I'm going to go a little faster now. When I plug in -3, I get 2. Now here's the thing. When I do my y-intercept, I'm going to get 0, 20. When I plug in -1, I'm going to get 10, right? So 2 times -1 squared, 12 times -1 plus 20. And so this graph, it only goes by 10, I'm sorry, I didn't have that on the screen. So again, opposite of b over a, opposite of b over 2a gives me that. I plug in -3, I got 2. I plugged in 0, I got 20. I plugged in -1, I got 10. This only goes up to 10. So I got to go by 2's here. Let's put 20 at the end here. -20, -20. So I've got to go, let's see, at -3, 2. So right here and then up to right here. I'm going to go 0, 20, so that's all the way up here. Draw my line of reflection in here. So I've got to go to there, which is -620. I've got -1, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, right there. And I've got to reflect that to here, which is -5, 10, and write that in. It is decreasing on this side and increasing on this side. Again, I cover up that side and I say, oh yeah, look, that side's going up. So I've got my increasing from -3 to infinity, and I've decreasing on that side, and of course this is opening up. Okay? A couple more here on the next page that are in the other form, which I think is easier to graph. This is in a times x minus h squared plus k form. And the axis symmetry is just h, and the vertex is just hk, which if you remember is opposite same. So x equals, well, h. In this case, this is x minus -2. So -2. And -2, -6 is my vertex. Again, it's opposite same. That's how I get there. For the y-intercept, we still just plug in 0. And by that, I mean we literally got to plug it in. 0 plus 2 squared minus 6, like that. 2 squared is 4. -8 minus 6 is -14. This looks like already a graph that's going to have to go to 20 again. -3, when I plug it in, I get -1 squared is 1 times that. I get -8. I'm going to go start graphing these. I'm going to go up to 20 and -20 here. But on my x's, I'm just going to go by ones. You can do that. Just widens it a little bit, makes it make more sense. -2, -6 is right here. And 0, -14 will be right here. That reflects 2 away and then 2 away again to give me right here, which is -4, -14. Reflection for -3, -8 is right here. So I reflect it here and I get -1, -8. Connect my dots. And you can see, first of all, this one opens down. So I'll write that in there. If I cover it up, that side is going downhill, so that side is decreasing there. So I'm going to be increasing from -infinity to -2. Again, it's always that number when it goes through, whatever, if you want that. Okay? And -2 to infinity. Okay? All right, one more of these graphing problems. And we still got a couple more problems here we got to look at. The axis symmetry, 1, 1, 3, 0. Let me start plotting this. So actually, I know this one's going to be okay to go. So I'm just going to go 1, 3 right here. And that gives me my axis symmetry. 0, plug it in, I get 4 right here. And reflect it to get 2, 4. -1, when I plug it in, I get 7. So -1, 7 is way up here. Reflect it 2 over, reflect it 2 over. That is 3, 7. And connect my dots. This is increasing, this is decreasing. So I've got increasing from 3 to infinity and decreasing from -infinity to 3. Opening up. All right, there's the 4 graphs. You're going to get one of each of those on your quiz, I promise you that. And again, it'll look just like that. Okay? We're at about 9.5 minutes. Let's fire away at these. I want to get these here into this form. I want to get these here into that form. I think that these are easier down here because it's already given me everything I need. I just need to FOIL it out. This is 2 times x minus 3, x minus 3 plus 12. And it's order, because there's 2 of them, right? That's squared. I just wrote it out. That's the first step. And then it's just order of operations. FOIL it out. x squared. A minus 3 and a minus 3 gives me minus 6x plus 9. Distribute to get here. And then simplify your terms that you can. There's that one. Okay. For the next problem, again, negative, really 1 times x plus 2 minus 7, negative 1 times x squared plus 4x plus 4, because 2 and 2 will give me 4x, and then 2 times 2 gives me that. Distribute it, and then combine like terms. What you will notice is they share the same a, and they should. If they don't share the same a, then you did something wrong, and that happens up here too. To find your h in your vertex here, you're going to go the opposite of b over 2a. We did that on the previous page, right? So 16 divided by 2 times 4 is 8, gives me 2. To find k, we just plug that in. So 4 times 2 squared minus 16 times 2 minus 3. When you plug that into your calculator, you'll get negative 19. So y equals, again, a is the same, so that doesn't change. X minus 2 squared minus 19. Done. I do the next one as well. H is the opposite of b over 2a, which is going to be 10 divided by 2 times 1, which is 2, which is 5. K, we're going to go plug it in, is 5 squared minus 10 times 5 plus 11. See, that's 25 minus 50 is negative 25, plus that is negative 14. So I get y equals, again, the a is just 1. You can write it there or not. X minus 5 squared minus 14. Done. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is chapter 5. And now we have done all of these. Take a look at these maybe the day before we have your quiz for each one of these sections, and also maybe right before we take the exam. Good luck.